Okay, I was asked to do this 8 values thing, political test. So let's check it out. I think I can knock this out real quick. Don't think it's that many questions. First, a lot of times I get questions about if I'm on a social media outlet, and I had no presence on any up until now. I started a Gab account, so you can subscribe there, and I'll post shit there randomly, but more so because for the next time the videos get taken down, this will at least be an outlet to where we can figure out where can we upload these things and or where they're going to be at next. So check out the Gab. If you're a member of Gab, subscribe to Cultured Thug, and then I just post random shit on there as well. Alright, so let's start the test. You'll be presented with a series of statements. For each one, click the button. Okay, got it. Oppression by corporations is more of a concern than oppression by governments. Agree. It is necessary for the government to intervene in the economy to protect consumers. Strongly agree. The freer markets, the freer the markets, the freer the people. Strongly disagree. It is better to maintain a balanced budget than to ensure the welfare for all citizens. Strongly disagree. Publicly funded research is more beneficial to the people than leaving it to the market. Agree. International trade is beneficial. Yes, it can be, so agree. From each according to his ability, to each according to his needs. Wish there was an option between disagree and neutral, so I'm gonna have to go disagree. I don't think it should be the bare minimum like that. It would be the best if social programs were abolished in favor of private charity. If they're talking about like welfare and things like that, those social programs, then I would agree with that. Taxes should be increased on the rich to provide for the poor. Now, are we talking about what's going on today or our ideal systems? I'm gonna assume we're talking about our ideal system, so I won't do this test as if I'm speaking on specifically the American government that exists today. So taxes should be no. I think there should be a single percent across the board for tax, and I don't think there should be mega rich and mega poor either. So inheritance is a legitimate form of wealth. Agree. Public utilities like roads and electricity should be publicly owned. If publicly owned we mean by the state, the nation, then strongly agree. Excessive government intervention is a threat to the economy. Excessive, I'll agree, excessive. Micromanaging doesn't work. There needs to be guidelines and rules and oversight, but excessively intervening, no. Those with greater ability to pay should receive better health care. Strongly disagree. Quality education is a right of all people. Strongly agree. The means of production should belong to the workers who use them. Oh, there's too much to be uncovered on this topic, so I'm going to go with unsure for now. United Nations should be abolished. In its current form, strongly agree. Military action by our nation is often necessary to protect it. Well, in the case of modern-day America, no, that's not true. None of these wars have been in our protection. But essentially, if we're speaking about our idealistic views, then yeah, strongly agree. I support regional unions such as the European Union. Yes, of course, there should be unions of nations. We should get along. Strongly agree. It is important to maintain our national sovereignty. Strongly agree. A united world government would be beneficial to mankind. Strongly disagree. It is more important to retain peaceful relations than to further our strength. What if both go hand in hand, as they do often? So I'll say neutral on that. Wars do not need to be justified to other countries. Strongly agree. Military spending is a waste of money. Strongly disagree. International aid is a waste of money. Strongly agree. My nation is great. Well, it will be. Strongly agree. Research should be conducted on an international scale. Yeah, there could be massive projects that all nations are contributing to, without a doubt. So I'll put agree on that. Government should be accountable to the international community. Disagree. Even when protesting an authoritarian government, violence is not acceptable. Strongly disagree. Violence is a tool. My religious values should be spread as much as possible. Strongly disagree. Our nation's values should be spread as much as possible. Strongly agree. It is very important to maintain law and order. Strongly agree. The general populace makes poor decisions. This depends on who's doing the molding once again. So, I guess, taking into context what we learned from Gustav Le Bon's The Crowd, what we learned from Bernays' Propaganda, Elu Propaganda, and books like that and works like that, and the advertisement agencies, we're going to have to say agree. Victimless crimes such as drug use should not be crimes at all. Disagree. I think there's fine lines there. The sacrifice of some civil liberties is necessary to protect us from acts of terrorism. Not how they're using it today, but since we're speaking about our ideal societies, I'll put agree. Sometimes the collective good has to come before your individual desires. Government surveillance is necessary in the modern world. To an extent. Is it all or nothing on this question? It doesn't give you much option. I'm going to go with agree, light agree. The very existence of the state is a threat to our liberty. Strongly disagree. A positive state enhances our liberty. Regardless of political opinions, it is important to side with your country. Now, if we're talking about, once again, the idealized state and the political beliefs, then I would agree to that. No authority should be left unquestioned. I agree to that as well. A hierarchical state is best. Strongly agree. It is important that the government follows the majority opinion, even if it is wrong. Strongly disagree. The stronger the leadership, the better. Strongly agree. Democracy is more than a decision-making process. No. Strongly disagree. Environmental regulations are essential. Agree. A better world will come from automation, science, and technology. Once again, as long as it's not in the filthy capitalist pigs' hands. Strongly agree. Children should be educated in religious or traditional values. Agree. Traditions are of no value on their own. Disagree. Religion should play a role in government. Disagree. Churches should be taxed the same way other institutions are taxed. I'll go unsure on that. Climate change is currently one of the greatest threats to our way of life. Disagree. It is important that we work as a united world to combat climate change. Agree. Society was better many years ago than it is now. I would definitely say the ethics are, for sure. Agree. It is important that we maintain the traditions of our past. Agree. It is important that we think in long term, beyond our lifespans. Strongly agree. Reason is more important than maintaining our culture. No, strongly disagree. Reason is just another form of dogmatism. Drug use should be legalized or decriminalized. Disagree. Same-sex marriage should be legal. Yeah, I don't believe homosexuality is a civil rights issue, but I don't think any citizen should be penalized for anything that they're born. No cultures are superior to others. What a loaded question. As cultures are different, and there are definitely cultures. Yeah, I'd have to. No cultures are. No, I disagree with that. Sex outside of marriage is immoral. Agree. If we accept migrants at all, it is important that they assimilate into our culture. If we accept them at all. Agree. Abortion should be prohibited in most or all cases. I'm going to stay neutral on that because we're talking about our ideal society. So I'm sure there's cases where abortion would be reasonable. You know, a child's being born with Down syndromes, a child's a product of rape, etc. So I'm just going to go unsure on that. Gun ownership should be prohibited for those without a valid reason. Strongly disagree. I support single-payer universal health care. Strongly agree. Prostitution should be illegal. Well, we're all adults after all. I don't think where it is where I'm out in Nevada, there's certain counties where they have whorehouses where it's legal, and then there's certain counties like inside the city of Las Vegas, inside all the cities, that it's completely illegal. And I think that works fine. So like I said, we're all adults. Prostitution should be illegal. Disagree. Maintaining family values is essential. Strongly agree. To chase progress at all costs is dangerous. Agree. Genetic modification is a force for good, even on humans. Once again, it's who's controlling this. You know, this matters a lot. But since we're talking about our ideal political beliefs, I would say strongly agree. We should open our borders to immigration. Strongly disagree. Governments should be as concerned about foreign citizens as they are about those within their borders. Strongly disagree. All people, regardless of factors like culture or sexuality, should be treated equally. Strongly agree. It is important that we further my group's goals above all others. Strongly agree. So let's see the results. Economic axis centrist. That makes sense. That makes sense because, yeah, you know, once again, the fascist thought, take a little bit from the capitalist, take a little bit from the socialist, use what works. Diplomatic axis, heavily nationalist, almost 80%. Yeah, that completely makes sense. That's totally fascistic. Then the civil access, statist, 65% authoritarian, 34% liberty. That makes sense. And the societal access, neutral. Yes, a little bit of science and tradition. Closest match, autocracy. That pretty much makes sense. Ideological matching is a work in progress and is much less accurate than the values and access. Okay. Yeah, so there you go. There's my 8 values. Autocracy. I think that's pretty much how the fascistic lineup would be. In the middle in most parts, except for individualism and globalism, where it's heavily dominant towards collectivism and nationalism. And then when we look on economic and the societal access, we see it's the revolutionary third position. It's taking what works from both and using them to our advantage instead of being stuck on one side or the other. So yeah, there you go. There's my 8 values. Let's see, I'd like to see some of you guys post yours too. See how close we all are on this. It'd be interesting.